Is that Paris? Or our place? That's Toronto. Good morning. Beautiful morning here in TO. Beautiful morning in Orlando. We're all over the place. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. 3 Wide here on the couch. Good to see you. When last we spoke about the race to become the next mayor of Mississauga, the by-election is slated for June the 10th after Bonnie Crombie became leader of the Provincial Liberals. We talked about the story of Carolyn Parrish, who was in the lead in the polls and decided to back out of debates. Her team says because of some threats that came in. Most other candidates in this race are disputing that. But regardless, the last couple of debates, Carolyn Parrish has not been there. And we can tell you that her numbers have gone down. Here's the latest poll. She had about Tam, like a 15-point lead, something in that
Clear
space?
front runner.
Last time we talked about this. So Carolyn Parrish is still the front runner to be the next mayor of Mississauga, one of the biggest cities in the country. But it's down to 5 points on Debika Demerla. Alvin Tejo is at 19, Stephen Dasco 12, Brian Crombie 9, 7% still there to be had. We just showed video of the Mark McAllister moderated debate last Thursday on City News 24/7 at the food bank in Mississauga. I caught that. It was interesting. Carolyn Parrish was not at that debate. Tammie, is this having an impact? Is the fact that Carolyn Parrish overtly saying, I'm not going to be on a stage with my competitors, for lack of a better term, is that hurting her right now with a lot of time left between now and June 10th?
Well, to go from the clear front runner to within 5 points, I mean, it's hard for me to say whether or not it is what it's due to exactly, but the one big change, the massive change, is Carolyn Parrish was in the news most recently because she decided not to go to debates. And that was after there were some derogatory comments that were made at the first debate that she attended. So I think what may happen in this case, people get curious, you try to find out what she said in that debate. They watched, maybe their mind changed at that time, or maybe maybe debates are really helpful for people and voters to make up their minds. And so if she's not on the stage, we had the debate last week with Mark, we had the debate at U of T Mississauga as well this week. If she's not on the stage, that could be kind of putting her, out of sight, out of mind with some voters. It's really hard to say what it is that's causing this, but that was the most significant thing that has happened between now and then.
Yeah, I mean, a reasonable correlation can be drawn on some level,
Sure.
and I think, the point of debates, and we've talked about it on this show before, we do it on this show. It's important to be able to discuss different opinions, and I think you really show who you are by how you speak and how you speak on issues. And what's interesting here is she's really showing, I guess, who she is by not participating. And I think we are living in a time now where there's a lot of noise, and if you're not making it for yourself and for what you're thinking, you're going to be not thought of, and some of those poll results are showing up that way.
I don't owe you a thing as a politician. And that goes from municipalities to provincial to federal. I don't care what the election is. I owe you nothing. So all I expect is get on that stage and let me see how this would play out. What do you look like in a meeting? What do you look like in a phone call with someone from the private sector, another politician? I'd like to see that. So we'll see how this goes. Carolyn Parrish could still be the next mayor of Mississauga. We'll find out June 10th. But those numbers are interesting considering what the headlines have been. Quick other story and quick tip for any politician who would like to do this and think it's going to help. I arrived back to my place a couple of Fridays ago, and I had 2 signs on the boulevard of my property, not my private property, but like the city-owned part of the property, from the same candidate. And I called the city, and I said, is this cool? And they're like, no, we would have to give permission for that too. So private property, I'd have to give permission for a sign. And for the boulevard, the city would have to give permission, which they did not give. You want to confirm with me that I will not speak about you in a kind light to anyone, on or off air? Put a sign anywhere near my lawn, city or private owned, that was not given permission. Don't do that. And to any politician watching, do not do that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'll tell you who it was in the break.